Monday the 30th of October, day 11 of my Australian daily vlogs. Gym session done, breakfast done, heading out to the XM for the last time actually. I'm going to miss the XM. I've had it for the past 10 days here in Melbourne and I've used it for pretty much everything, including yesterday taking out some awesome mountain roads and filming a review on it. So keep an eye out for that video, because I certainly have discovered more about this car than I did initially at the launch, because at the launch I had it for about an hour and a half. Something I'm not going to miss so much about it is getting it out of the hotel car park every morning, because although it is possible, thankfully, I really didn't want to curb one of these 23-inch wheels, and most car parks aren't designed or don't cater for cars the size of the XMs. Something I actually forgot to talk about in my review, and something that certainly helped me get this car out of that car park every day, is the fact that this XM has rear axle steering. That makes a huge difference on big cars like this with long wheelbases. Basically makes the car feel like it's on a shorter wheelbase and you can do much tighter maneuvers. I've dropped the XM back down here at BMW Australia and I'm picking up an iX1. Slightly smaller, but almost definitely a better city car, and it's fully electric. So I'm looking forward to running the iX1 because I've never actually driven one. I love the X1, I love the package of it, I love how practical it is for the size. This is actually an X-Line trim. I'm not sure if we get that in the UK. The colour is San Remo green, which looks absolutely stunning, especially when you contrast it with the Mocha interior. A lovely big glass panel sunroof. Oh, in fact, it is actually a sunroof on this car. Whereas the iX2 that I looked at in the studio last week, you could only get a glass panel. So once again, confirming to me that the iX1 is the better package. And all of my luggage in the boot. Obviously I will be doing a review of this car once I've had it a few days, once I understand it, and once I can give you my honest point of view. I think it's going to suit what I need around Melbourne really, really well. It also has a claimed range of about 380 kilometers, which is about 250, 260 miles, I think, off the top of my head. Anyway, I'm going to do some detail shots of it here whilst it's clean, and then I'm heading over to see someone for lunch. Before we head off, the all-important quad lock suction mount is installed. Thanks to everyone that's walked past and said hello here at BMW Australia. It's really nice to see that people here watch my content and have made me feel very, very welcome. So really appreciate everyone that came out and said hi. Boom. First impressions of the iX1 have been great, actually. I've been sitting in the wonderful Melbourne traffic, and this car does it better than anything else. I then had a wonderful lunch and coffee on the beach in a lovely little cafe. The reason I went down there is I went to meet a guy called Mitch, who I've been speaking to on social media for a while, and who happens to own an M3 Touring, a very, very good looking stealth M3 Touring. And this is Mitch. How's it going, mate?
Good, thank you.
Tell us a bit about what you do and why you have an M3 Touring.
Well, partly had the M3 Touring just because I wanted one. Basically, it was just the ideal sort of work car for me for a lot of the work that I do. So, you know, particularly when filming, you know, high performance vehicles and stuff on tracks, that sort of stuff. what better way to film fast cars than with a faster car?
His Instagram, by the way, is Mitch_filming. So check that out, because he's extremely talented at photography and videography, because that's his job, that's his profession. The main reason I come down here is actually to look at something that's rather special and something that he sets up on his car. I'm not going to ruin it. We're going to get to work. He's going to get to work, build it up, and you can join us in a few seconds. That is the biggest suction mount I've ever seen. Is that what they use to sort of, I don't know, clean windows and stuff? Or?
Yeah, so basically glaziers will use this sort of thing to install large panes of glass.
Okay.
And so the company that puts this together, Cine Milled, so they make a lot of the bits and pieces that I've got here.
Yep.
They build these up with, you know, the cheese plates and all that sort of stuff, so you can put all the rigging gear and speed rail and that sort of stuff on them. Set up so that I can relatively quickly put it on this or on my Land Cruiser,
yep,
depending on what car I'm using. And yeah, these don't come off.
No, I can see
if this comes off, the windows come off.
Oh, yes. Right, so you're probably starting to see what this is all about. Basically, it is the coolest tracking car on the planet with one of the most ridiculous rigs ever. But when I say ridiculous, it's just absolutely beautiful. We've just been discussing numbers off camera, but I'm not sure if Mitch is all right talking about them on camera, or do we just say that it's not cheap?
It's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap.
It's not cheap. I saw pictures of this and I was just like, Mitch, I have to meet you and I have to see your car and I have to see your setup. And to be fair, this literally took 20 minutes to build, which obviously it probably took months and months of trial and error and adjusting.
Yes, it did. It definitely building it the first time and the first few times.
Yep.
That took quite a while, and sort of figuring out, depending on the car I was rigging on, how best to do it, how safest to do it, took a while. But sort of once it was figured out, had all the right parts, the clamps, the suction, goes together pretty quick now.
It's amazing. And why have you got an F1 steering wheel down there?
Well, so the controller device that it comes with actually connects to a PlayStation controller, but they sell this much more complicated unit. Basically gives you a lot more control over the gimbal, much more finesse.
Oh, look at that.
You can see as well when this moves.
Yep. Oh,
it's keeping the camber.
Look at that. Seeing that is just amazing. I think it would be a little bit overkill for what I do with YouTube, but obviously what Mitch does, he works for a number of major car brands, manufacturers. What sort of speeds could you go up to with that on there? Would you be happy with?
Look, I've done over 100 with it at Sydney Motorsport Park. I mean, normally there's a few more safeguards and that sort of stuff that we haven't got rigged up right now with chains and straps and that sort of thing. That was the first gig for the M3 actually. What's impressed me is it's off-road, so I mean, obviously not on this, on the Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
But you know, its ability to deal with off-road, you know, bumps and
that's where this all comes in,
that's
right?
where all that comes in.
So that must be going nuts when it's off-road, I suppose.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually got, I'll send you a couple of shots of it, where you can actually GoPro on the back to get some shots. But yeah, this basically takes out all of that sort of vertical motion. This sorts out a lot of the vibration.
Oh right, that's a dampener within.
Correct. So they call this the tranquilizer, and so it's sort of to get rid of those little jitters, you know, that sort of stuff that really sort of ruins your footage. And then the gimbal's responsible for keeping the camera level.
And let's just have a quick look at your spec on this car. So we have the lovely Kailami orange, which I really miss. I had this in my first M3 saloon. Black and orange is a wicked combo, isn't it?
Well, for me, I needed the black and sort of the matte black look for to make it a convincing camera car. So having that splash of orange on the inside, that was sort of where I could make it interesting.
Yes. Oh, and you've got, see, this is what I do with my car. It winds people up so much.
I didn't want to remove it. It's the one thing that says that I had it new.
Yeah, well, I've got one on my passenger seat still, and everyone goes, when are you going to peel that off? I'm like, when I'm ready to peel it off.
I think I only pulled that off about 500 Ks ago.
Brilliant. Definitely the most unique M3 with roof bars and this bad boy up the back. That is brilliant. It's the only 6 meter long M3 in the world. Well, that was absolutely awesome. What a car and what a setup. Massive thanks to Mitch for taking time to come down here, set up his rig, dismantle his rig, and now he's literally heading straight to the airport. Make sure you do check out his Instagram, Mitch_filming. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Now I'm back in the iX1 and I'm heading over to see my brother because we're going to have dinner together. Well, looks like the good old Melbourne weather has changed once again. Hello. So, Jack, what did you say to me when I pulled up about an hour ago?
I said the car looks like it's a little bit smaller today for some reason.
Yeah, you thought it had shrunk a little bit. But I'm interested to see what Jack and Rani's... Yeah, well, we'll jump in it. We'll head to the restaurant and maybe you can sort of let me know what you think, because what I want you to do is guess how much it is, because bear in mind, same brand, the XM was about $330,000. And this interior is called Mocha. Which again I quite like. It goes with the green. Yeah. Because green's fashionable, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah, Rani?
yes, it's on trend.
Yeah, it must be if you're wearing green. Now a lot of people, a lot of people I've seen today are wearing green. Fire this bad boy up. Oh. Right, now we've had a little cruise, a little 10-minute drive. Remembering XM about $325,000. Yep. Where would you price this?
Well,
who's going to go first? Ladies first.
I think Rani should go first.
Yeah.
Not so knowledgeable person in the car world.
Yeah.
I would say 220,000.
Jack.
I'm gonna go lower.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 180 or 160.
Do you want to open the glove box, Jack? Because there's actually a spec sheet in there. 85,000.
What? That's crazy.
But it just shows you that I think with the smaller segment cars like this iX1, especially out here in Australia, it's priced very well. Even a head-up display in here, which is really nice. Right, we're going to go and have some food. So I'll probably end this video with some food shots, and I might say goodbye now. And you goodbye. Bye. Bye. Thanks as always for putting up with the camera on the stick.
Camera on the stick. Why not?
Now I'm definitely going. I'll see you in tomorrow's vlog. Goodbye.